side blades. And Minigun, is he up to 4 voids, or does he have more than that now at 5?
Yep, he's at 5, but only 4 together. This is going to hurt a lot. And Puck
Oh,
is
God. Wait. Colossus in the middle of the map, just as a heads up.
Yep, I'm just keeping an eye on that. So Minigun is now going to hit this Nexus, and there's no defense. The Mothership Core is out of position, so we're going to see no photon overcharge. It did less damage than it could have. I think it could have focused that Nexus down, like potentially using charge there. He may have lost the Void Rays in the process, though, so maybe it wouldn't have been worth it. But that disrupted some mining, and that's going to be a constant threat now. It can get in there, get on that. And I love the way that Minigun keeps his Mothership Core with the Void Rays so he can recall them. So if they get in trouble, he can get them out of there.
And that's something that we've seen not as many players as you might think do, is use that Mothership Core with little bits of hit squads while you macro back in your main base. Because, to be quite frank, Protoss hasn't had much counterattacking, multi-prong attack capabilities in the past. No. They just haven't. And so now that's why they added the Mothership Core, is to add for that kind of play. Minigun really utilizing that extremely well right now. And Puck, though, has stabilized. He is still about 22 supply behind right here.
Yep.
So he has to be careful. And it's even bases now. So whatever advantage he had before with that early base is now negated.
Yeah, that is definitely gone there. There's no real question about that. Oracle comes in, picks off a couple more probes as well. It's just annoying harass that's picking at Puck and making it a little bit more difficult to stay ahead. Losing probes left and right, being pulled between 3 bases on the defense, and not being able to counterattack, and having no means to really do that. Puck is building Colossus, but so is Minigun. And Minigun is building 2 at a time and is going to end up being ahead in that regard. Hallucinated Phoenixes come in, 2 of them, in fact, but that's obviously not going to do anything. They will get great scouting information, though. They're going to see absolutely everything, so that's always good. Dark Shrine comes down for Minigun as well. Dark Shrine is already done for Puck, but Puck doesn't actually have a proxy pylon on the map, so he can't really do anything with that other than use it in defense. Or run it across the entire map. That works, too. So he's going to have a little bit of a jog here.
Oracle trying to slip in there once again. Actually, the main base is defended just by 1 High Templar. It's so funny to see High Templar defending. There's a feedback. It's funny to see High Templar defending versus Protoss drops or harassment.
Yeah.
That was never a thing in the past because it didn't do anything back then. So acting like anti-medevac play here. He also has Psy Storm, which is an interesting upgrade always in PvP. If you land good storms, you just really have to hope that that army eats it, because Protoss units have so much HP. And remember, you cannot stack storm damage like you could in Brood War. So you just kind of have to ride out the damage. And right now, yeah, he actually evened up his supply a lot more than I thought he would.
He's catching up. I mean,
Minigun's
not really able to do much here. The harass has been shut down, but the thing is, Minigun can take a 4th base, putting down a lot of cannons here as well, knowing, oh, I'm about maxed out, so this is kind of, I need to start building cannons. I need to make sure I've got the defense against the Dark Templar backstabs, because let's be honest, those DT plays in Game 2 were super effective for Puck, and they're the only reason Puck was able to stay in that game for as long.
Alrighty, so is it going to be War of the Worlds like you had originally predicted, TB? It's 6 Colossus. Versus 4, the difference being made up in the Psy Storm. But Psy Storm's not the greatest versus Colossus.
There's going to be 2 more Colossus out in the field by the time this hits anyway, so this is going to be a very, very equal fight. We're seeing a very slight army supply advantage for Puck here, because Puck has slightly less workers. So this is all going to come down to how good this engagement is. As you said, there is Psy Storm in the mix here, and there isn't for Minigun. So this may very well be the turning point. A big run by comes in. The Colossus doesn't quite wake up fast enough, but this strike is going to hit the 4th. So Minigun is going to destroy the 4th base, has managed to get DTs into the main as well, and is hitting the 3rd. That was a nice strike there by Minigun, surgically taking that out. And there's DTs all over the place here, and Zealots that just ran their way past the defenses. And Puck is suddenly taking damage to his infrastructure.
Yeah, he takes out the Templar Archives as well. Now going to be focusing down some pylons, maybe some other tech as well. And I just feel like Puck's army, it feels like it's not doing anything. It's just kind of sitting around. Wasn't able to deny the drop, wasn't able to deny the DT, and wasn't able to save the expansion. So looks like he will kill off several Stalkers here. Not quite sure what these Stalkers are doing here. Minigun is going to lose those, actually. So not sure what the point of that was. That was actually a big pickup there for Puck. But either way, losing a lot to the DTs. I cannot believe how much Minigun actually lost in that. He was down at 160 supply there for just a moment.
But see how much economic damage and infrastructure damage has been done. We saw a lot of pylons go down. We saw the DTs destroying the probes left and right. The minigun is already prepared with cannons now to make sure that these DTs won't really do a lot anymore. Puck's sort of picking off units on the map with them, which is fine, don't get me wrong, but even then, it's still an awkward spot because he can't touch the economy of minigun, which means that every time minigun takes an engagement, he doesn't have to take it as efficiently. And already, Puck he's not engaging as efficiently as he could. He's ahead of minigun in that regard, but not by enough to really make up that probe deficit.
Also, I just noticed this Void Ray up in the north has been patrolling for like an hour to deny drops there. Usually you'll see a Phoenix or something like that, but the Void Ray a pretty good choice as well. So if you're wondering where that 5th Void Ray is, his army did get split up there a little bit. That actually would have been a huge mistake by Minigun if Puck decided to take a bite there. He didn't realize that his army was separated, though. Now it has since regrouped. 199 supply to 196, so relatively even here. Puck just has a hatred for rocks, trying to take that out so his army can go quickly. Time warp right there. That is going to scare the bejesus out of that army because he wasn't going to be able to engage. Yeah, time warps for both players, though, and Minigun decides to turn around, did the old bait and switch there to take out some of those zealots.
Well, Puck needed to get out of that as quickly as possible. He didn't want Colossus to focus fire on his zealots. He was able to do that. We are seeing 2 maxed Protoss armies right now going at it in this engagement. These time warps are about to wear off. This is really, really even right now. There aren't really any DTs on the map to make a lot of difference. There are 4 Templar available for Puck here, so maybe we see that come into play. We can see them. They are part of his army. At least some of them are. I think a couple of others are in Oracle defense mode right now, but I don't know if he even decides to use the Templar for anything other than morphing them into Archons at this stage. Maybe he throws a few Storms off and then morphs. That would make sense. Puck did lose his Templar archives, I believe, so
I want to say in this upcoming battle right now, Puck has a huge army supply lead because he has hardly any workers.
Yeah,
he also has a slight upgrade advantage. And the attack upgrade's not quite ready for Minigun. It's almost done, just moments away, but Puck should have an advantage going into this fight.
He really does. Storm going down.
The upgrade for Minigun just now finishing, but it's too little too late. But the Void Rays, no, they're not going to be enough here. It looks like Puck sweeps through there. It came down to the upgrade timing. It came down to the army supply advantage. However, you got to remember that Minigun has more money to burn through. I mean, look at this. He has 4,000 minerals.
Yeah,
he's getting a big counterattack here, but he needs units, and he needs them right about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's the real thing. Puck's now pushing across the map, but as you said, the bank was in place. The economy and the macro was in place for Minigun. So, at this stage, even if this army does attack, does it make a lot of difference? I think what's going to really come into play here is the fact that Puck has 6 Colossus, and there's no Colossus on the field yet for Minigun. That's the big deal. And there is the GG. Puck takes it. I take $50. And Minigun GG's after seeing, oh yeah, you've got 6 Colossus still. And it all came down to that final engagement. We had such an incredible engagement from Puck. He kept all of his Colossi alive, and Minigun lost all of his. And that was what really changed it. The army supply doesn't tell the story there. Where you see 6 Colossi versus 0, what are you going to kill that with? You don't have anything.
Yeah, I think his only hope there at the very end was because he still had the 1 Void Ray patrolling at home and a second one nearly done, and he would have had a third one and the 2 Colossus spawning. But even then, it's going to be a very, very tough fight for him. He has to deal with the Colossus. If he had additional Stargates down, he might have been able to recoup his losses, because you got to remember that he did have a lot of money in the bank.
Yeah, he had a huge bank, actually.
Yeah, he just didn't have the time to spend it there. So I got to hand it to Puck, man, taking out that series with 2-1. Very close series for him to advance, but hey, man, it doesn't matter as long as you advance. So great job to him.
I'll be expecting the $50 note in the mail, Husky. That's
God. TB.
What you get for making bets with me, man.
It's true. No, it is a good win. It is an honest win. So I do pay out, though, in Taco Bell. So you'll get $50 for the Taco Bell.
Oh, God, no. That's $50 worth of diarrhea. Absolutely not. That's not a good trade at all.
But anyways, such an epic start. But what do we have coming up next, TB?
All right, well, so Minigun is in the losers final now, right? So that leaves 2 players to battle it out for elimination. Puck is through. Puck is through at the round of 8. That's guaranteed. So great play from Puck. And now we have to find out who goes through from Maker and Vibe. Both those guys lost their first game, so Maker and Vibe will be going at it. We may see Maker eliminated, and we may see an all-root bracket left, or we may see Vibe go down, which would actually be, I think, a big surprise for a lot of people. It's going to be close. Maker didn't really put on a great showing in the first game. I don't think that Hellbat style really worked all that well against Protoss, but it does work pretty well against Zerg. So if he wants to try those more aggressive openings, I think he'll probably have better luck against Vibe. We'll find out, though. That's going to be going on after the break. We'll, of course, be bringing you the interview between Maker and Vibe, and then we will find out exactly who goes out, the first player to be eliminated from SHOUTcraft America. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be right back. right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SHOUTcraft America. Sorry for the long-ish break. Nature called, I had to answer, otherwise nature gets very mad. Oh, well, one way or the other, we are going to be having a quick interview with two players going into this. This is the losers match, of course. One of these guys will be eliminated from the tournament, and one of these guys will be going on to face Minigun. Puck is, of course, already through, so we'll see where this one goes. All right. Maker's camera, unfortunately, is not operating today. We're not really sure why, but Maker, you went up against Minigun, and you had a little bit of a rough time. Do you feel that your Terran versus Zerg is stronger right now?
Definitely, my Terran versus Arc is my best matchup. I don't know what happened against Minigun. My head was off, and I didn't play well.
All right, well, we'll see if you can do better here. So, Vibe, close series with your teammate going into this, and eventually Puck actually ends up advancing. How are you feeling going into this matchup with Maker here?
It's angry. I shouldn't have lost the puck.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't like game 3 at all. It kind of made me angry. And then since I lost the puck, I just started grinding ladder, and I've got 9-0 in ladder. So I'm not going to stop now. I'm going to keep winning, and I'm going to 2-0 the next 2 matches.
Ooh, all right. Okay. That's interesting. We could start placing bets. Mike, you could start placing bets. You're really good at placing bets, aren't you?
You know what, TB? Oh, wait. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you just fine,
Okay.
Mike.
Okay, good. Sorry if you heard my eating noises. I got ravenous after losing all that money, but yeah. I don't know if I want to place any more bets because StarCraft is a pretty unpredictable game.
We will see. So, Vibe going into this matchup against Maker, you are, of course, a match away from elimination as the WCS NA, or indeed USA 2012 champion. You feel you've got a lot on the line here?
Yeah, I do. I mean, this definitely is like a big opportunity, and I was really excited that I actually made it in.
You only just did as well. There was a little story behind that.
Yeah, and I don't want to throw the opportunity away just by losing in the first group stage. So.
Unfortunately, you do have a guy that was pretty much sitting pretty at about rank 4 or 5 on the ladder. Maker, you're a bit of a ladder monster. Why is it that you play so much ladder? Do you think that's the best way to train?
Well, yeah, since I don't have almost any practice partners, all what can I do is ladder all day. So that's why I play a lot of games on ladder.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about Chaos Latin Gamers, actually. That is a clan that not many people have heard of.
Yeah, it's a new clan. It's from Puerto Rico, and it's still very new, but they will be adding more players.
All right, well, we'll see how well they do. So, Maker, do you have any words for your opponent going into this matchup?
Well, I wish him good luck because I'm going with my best.
All right, Vibe, what is your response to that?
Good luck. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to kill you right now.
Well, let's see how that goes. All right, guys, get to your stations. Get ready to rock and roll. I'm looking forward to seeing some great play from the both of you. And Husky, all right, so going into this match right here, what do you think Maker's chances are? I don't think Maker really got the chance to really show us his best there.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's really, really, really hard to kind of call it right now just because, like you said, he didn't do very well in the last series. He has done well in the past. I've quite enjoyed casting his games, but overall in this series, I don't know if I can give this to Maker. But that's just based on the last 2 games, so I don't know, man. I do like, though, how there was a lot of practice going on after the last series. Very, very upset that he ended up losing that series. And so decided, you know what? I'm going to go practice some more, get warmed up again, and take this tournament very serious. Like, he definitely realizes the opportunity here, and now's his time to prove it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's coming into this tournament saying, oh, this is something that I don't really care all that much about. A lot of these guys have either already been knocked out of Premier League or didn't get there to begin with. So what kind of opportunities they really have? This is a big tournament for them, so I think they're all taking it pretty seriously. We'll be going into the first match. It's going to be Belshire Vestige once again. We went with a smaller map pool for this tournament. This was, of course, Jenna's decision, as it was for pretty much everything. Jenna's done a great job in this tournament so far, simply because she made all of this happen, and did so pretty quickly. We had to get this together relatively fast, and as a direct result, it was, you know, it was a little bit rushed. So she managed to get everything together, and from talking to a lot of pros, her opinion was that there's no reason to go with big map pools, because if you have a smaller map pool, then it is much, much easier to really get properly prepared for any matchup that you're going into. If you throw some weird maps in there that you don't get to really practice on the ladder, then things start to just get a little bit odd. Alright, folks. Maker versus Vibe. One of these guys will advance to play Minigun in the losers finals. One of these will fall out in the round of 16. Who will it be? We'll find out very shortly. We are going into this map right now. Let's make it happen.
Alrighty, so Belshir Vestige, and I must say that I quite enjoyed that little interview there between these two players, but facing elimination, I personally have never played in a tournament of this caliber at all. I've played secretly in some really, really small tournaments. Of course, I got crushed because I'm super bad, but there's a lot of pressure on both these players right now, because this tournament, I feel like, is a great way for players to make a name for themselves, like Maker, for example. Not a lot of information is known about him. He's getting some face time. Can he prove his worth here in this series?
We'll find out, won't we? In the southeast position of Belshir Vestige, in the red trunks playing Zerg, it is Root Vibe versus his opponent. A man from a new clan, unsponsored Chaos Latin Gamers, also known on ladder as Hecate. In the blue trunks playing Terran to the northwest, it is Maker.
All right, of course, it is cross spawns, as it is only a two-player map. This map can kind of be deceiving. It's quite large for a two-player map right now. But I really want to know, what is Maker going to do? Is he going to try and go for the drops like we saw earlier in the series, where it did not work out at all? It got completely locked down.
No, it didn't.
Does he try and go for a big macro play to try and push at around the 14 to 15-minute mark, which is a pretty solid time for Terran players to attack? I don't know, man. I can't say a lot based on those last ones, but Vibe, of course, a Zerg player, will most likely go Hatch first, has his drone headed down that way. And just to explain for all the new players out there, Hatch first versus Terran is good because 9 times out of 10, or even more than that, Terran players cannot afford to scout with an SCV yet, so there's nothing to block your expansion.
Exactly, yeah. Going out that early with an SCV is very, very unlikely to happen. We do sometimes see the eBay block come in, but in that case, it's just so hard to really pull that off. What we do have now is a gas taken here for Maker, so I don't think I've ever actually seen Maker not do that. He likes to have that option early on in the game. He still has all 3 in gas, so let's see what he does. I think it's going to be a Reaper opening here. There it is.
Yep, there it is. Starts right out with the Reaper there. And remember, the Reaper, his job isn't to get 100 Zergling kills. It's not to do major economic damage. It's that he can scout like a madman. He's actually like the best early game scout in the game. And as we were mentioning before, I mean, Terran players, they really don't want to scout with SCVs unless they have to, because Terran have the least amount of workers out of any race in the game. Zerg can make 20 drones at a time. Protoss, of course, has Chrono Boost, which just kind of leaves Terran. Of course, they have mules, but still doesn't change the fact that they're very low on workers. So scouting with the Reaper is awesome. A second Reaper joining in. This is where it starts to be a little bit more focused on doing a bit of damage.
Yeah, certainly. And usually you'll only go up to 3. It's very, very rare that you'll see any more than that, because there comes a point when more than 3 Reapers just isn't effective at anything, and it also makes you very, very open to just a potential counterattack. It's like, oh, you spent all your gas in Reapers? That means you have no tech behind this at all. So I can safely do something horrible to you. Now, in this case, oh, nice save there. Vibe is able to move that into the gas, so that worked out pretty well for him. Maker's already down there doing a little bit of damage. He's going to pick off a Zergling or 2, perhaps. Vibe's control, actually, here is really, really good. He's avoided taking any losses so far, but he will eventually lose that lane. I don't think there's really any question about that. No, actually not, unless Maker actually goes around and kills it. If he gets away without losing anything, he loses the Zergling.
Yeah, get the one link. I gotta say, though, that Reaper's gotta wonder, like, am I actually shooting bullets? Because nothing is actually dying right now. The Queen here gonna be just in time to prevent this. And remember that, yes, the Reapers can regenerate HP when they're out of combat, but it takes a lot of shots to kill off a Queen. And killing a couple lings here and there is fine. It's the drones he wants to get.
Oh, nice save. Beautiful.
And, yeah, saved those several times at this point. So he has lost 80 resources worth of units, but other than that, a nice solid hold right now.
Yeah, that was really good. Like, compared to what the actual cost of the Reaper and how much it delays your tech to throw 100 gas at that, That was absolutely phenomenal defense there by Vibe. He really doesn't care. He's got 4 queens out right now. His creep spread hasn't really been disrupted. He saved all of his drones as well. All of the money he lost really was he lost 1 Ling. I think he didn't even lose a drone. So he lost 1 Ling, and then what ended up happening was he had to cancel a bunch of buildings. So that's where his mineral loss actually came in. So he's just cleaned the Reapers up now, and this last one will make its way in. This might do damage, but there's another queen right there, so I don't see it doing anything. It's just going to get some scouting information, and nice juke by Maker right there. He was able to trick his opponent to think he was going one way, but there's no way out for this guy. It's closing in. Yeah, he's gonna... I think he's gonna die here. And there he goes. Down he goes, crippling it to a small little heap of nothing on the floor. And immediately after that, Vibe goes straight into lair. And currently he is on 2 gas. He's creating the Evolution Wall-Off, but he's only using 1 Evo Chamber, and he's going to Roach Woman.
Yeah, Roach is always good for defensive capabilities. You can also put on some pressure on this map. It is not likely. However, we are seeing a 3rd command center here at a Maker, and that does mean that the Roaches might be a viable option, because right now we see Hellion and Stim on the way. So not a whole lot up here to stop Roaches. Probably won't see it, but Maker just has to keep in mind that there is a potential threat of that. He doesn't have very good anti-Roach capabilities right now.
No, he really does not, honestly. If he decides to go all the way up to Starport Tech, for instance, that could be really problematic. He does still only have 1 barracks as well. So he's going to swap this out. He's going to build another reactor. It looks like he's probably going to use this factory just to build reactors for other